Welcome to Latricia Creates. I am Latricia. In today's video, we're going to create an in the hoop bag tag using our embroidery machine. Let's take a look at the materials we're going to use for this project. For this project, I'm going to use water-soluble stabilizer, a 4x4 hoop, a pair of scissors, some embroidery shears or applique shears, 5 pieces of scrap fabric for the design, a piece of marine vinyl or faux leather for the back of the design, and a piece of foam to stiffen the design up. We also need our design, matching thread, and our embroidery machine. You ready? Let's make it. The first thing we're going to do is hoop our stabilizer. We're going to take the stabilizer, put it on the bottom piece, put the top piece on, push it up, and screw the screw tight. Test it to make sure it's nice and taut. And if you've seen my other embroidery videos, you know that I like to use T-head pins. I didn't bring them with me to the craft table, but I will be using my T-head pins. Now we're ready to go to the embroidery machine and get to stitching. I'm at the embroidery machine. Now I'm ready to get my design loaded. I'm going to select the design, load it onto my machine, and change the colors. Once I'm done with that, it'll be ready to begin stitching. The first stitch is going to be the placement stitch. Once the placement stitch is done, we're going to lay the fabric on top of the placement stitch and get ready for the tack down stitch. Here I'm adding the fabric for the tack down stitch. Now the tack down stitch is being placed. Next, I'm going to trim the fabric. I want to make sure I trim it as close to the stitches as possible without actually cutting any of the stitches. Now that the fabric is all trimmed, it's time for another placement stitch, and we're just going to repeat the process until we have all 5 pieces down. Placement stitch, lay down the fabric, tack down stitch, trim the fabric, repeat. All 5 of the pieces have been trimmed, and now it's time for the satin stitch. I'm going to let the satin stitch run for all 5 of the colors. The satin stitch is now complete. I did add a name to the design, so the next part is going to be stitching out the name. The name is all finished. Now I'm going to add the foam and the backing to the bottom of the hoop. I'm going to put the foam closest to the stabilizer, and I'm going to put the backing piece on top of the foam with the right side out. And we're going to prepare for the final stitch. The design is all finished. Now we're back at the craft table ready to unhoop the design. Now that the design is all unhooped, I'm going to take the scissors and cut away all the excess fabric and excess stabilizer. Next, I'm going to clean up any loose threads around the stitching. I'm trimming closer to the stitch line without getting to the stitches. We don't want to cut any of the stitches. Now I'm going to trim any of the loose ends from the back of the fabric. Make sure the design is all cleaned up. And here you have it. Here is a closer look at our final project. I think it came out really nice. I didn't show you on video where I punched the hole and put the chain in, but all I did was use a hole punch the hole. I added some fray check, then I put this chain on. And that was it. I hope you are able to make one as well, and I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing. Until next time, keep creating.